Okay, we'll let this one play through and then break it down. This one takes a little bit of time to develop. It's kind of good to see how this incident develops, but let's take a look at real-time speed. Okay, now we'll break it down. So we're just going to let this play forward until it gets interesting. You can just so lots of good racing going on at this point. I mean, there's a lot of traffic going through this corner, and the cars are doing a good job. In fact, let me just back it up and how is it possible that all these cars can be getting through the corner so well? Well, you can see that the cars are respecting the racing line. You have some cars on the outside of the racing line and some cars on the inside of the racing line, right? So that's how we can go through this corner side by side. Look, these two cars on the inside are either on, they've got their right sides or all four on the right side of the racing line, and then the cars on the outside are on the outs. All four of their tires are on the outside of the racing line. And as we exit, they continue to maintain that relationship to the racing line. But let's move forward to our car of interest here. Okay, so watch the orange car. So for this particular corner, the car's choosing a little bit different line than the racing line, but you can see the gray car here, the number 14, is headed to the inside of the racing line, and up ahead the orange car, who's currently on the inside of the racing line, is going to be headed to the outside of that racing line. Well, he's on the racing line, so he's taking in a wide corner entry. The blue car is the car that's immediately behind him, who has position on the orange car, and he's going to make the pass on the orange car. So as we let this develop, the blue car gets by the orange car, and maybe that was the intent here. Who knows? The computer certainly wouldn't know what any driver intent was, but we do know for a fact that at corner entry, so here we are, the orange car is getting into corner entry, which is the point where the racing line starts to turn towards the corner. The orange car has chosen to take the racing line. And the gray car here, the number 14, is well on the inside of the racing line, right? So he's lining up a pass, or positioning himself to pass on the inside. Maybe doesn't know yet whether he can complete the pass or not, but certainly has that in mind and is positioning himself. Now, the computer wouldn't know that. All the computer knows is that the gray car, the 14, is on the inside of the racing line, and that the lead car, in this case the orange car, is on the racing line. Now, the orange car is choosing to turn in to the inside of the racing line, and still the gray car has no position here at all. Now, as we continue forward, from the time that the lead car chooses to turn inside the racing line, here's where all four of his tires come inside of the racing line. The 14 still has no position on the lead car, the orange car, but quickly the 14 does gain position. So the spotter could be telling the lead car, the orange car here at this point, car inside. But here, the 14, his nose is up to the front axle of the 14. So even if the spotter isn't telling him, hopefully he has some awareness, some, either look out that right side, hear the engine, whatever. The 14 is there, and at this point, the orange car, the number 6, should recognize that he needs to share the line through this corner, and the 14 is doing the best job he can to hold his inside line. Look, he's approaching, he's now getting up onto the rumble strip, but the lead car, the number 6, is continuing to arc it in. And at the point of contact, the 14 is still on the track. His left sides are, as far as he can be to the left without going off track. And so in this case, the 6 arced down too tightly onto the 14, so responsibility award would go to the number 6 for contact.